data, not in terms of rhetoric.
Sir, I was one of your underground operations mine engineer in Felix before. So I'd like to ask about the baseline. When you talk about the baseline, you mean the environmental baseline, sir? Sir, because I think, like for SMI, I think they do have the environmental baseline. I think that forms part of their application for an environmental compliance certificate. And I think we have standards like the air quality, water quality, and different levels of like heavy metals. I think what some mining companies should understand is that the baseline would be there to protect you.
Yeah.
So if you have the baseline, if you have these environmental baseline, you've made your environmental baseline profiling. And initially, before you were even there were already high levels of mercury. And if that changes as you go through your operations, then that would be a great help for your company.
I agree with you. It's very good to mention that. But the point I'm making is those baseline studies should be validated and accepted by government before you operate, because there might be some question later on. They say they never formally approved it, and therefore it's not acceptable, no?
Yes, sir. So I think that those are one of the things. Plus, one of the other things, we used to have a coal project in South Cotabato, and we were given an ECC despite the fact that there was a ban in open pit mining declared. So that is one of the questions that I want to raise. Why the ECC was denied for SMI when our project was given an ECC just with conditions that we cannot operate until there's a lift from the ban. So I think there's a problem with LGU or I don't know about Secretary Pahe, but sorry, but
I agree.
So thank you, sir.
My name is Harvey Campos. I'm representing Stimulus Capital Ideas. I have an Australian partner trying to explore possibilities for the Philippines and vice versa. I read the EO 79 just a couple of days ago, and there's a provision in Section 8 which states that there will be a team who will be studying the possibilities of value-adding activities and the development of downstream industries. So this might be a possible link that we can create a positive image. Can you say something about any updates? Because they have a deadline of 60 days after the signing of the EO 79 of July 2012.
It's finished.
It's supposed to be finished. So it's supposed to be September.
They're all good, but the problem is there are no specific criteria on which you can gauge whether you will comply or not. They're all motherhood statements that they will do this, do that, but there are no standards. And in the absence of standards, you never know whether you'll get approved or not. That's the basic problem. We have to pressure them to come out with specific standards so that if we comply, we get our permits. Otherwise, we will forever be in this state.
Yes. Doctor, I think it's also good to see that the motherhood statement can produce some children. And creating opportunities for collaboration, like creating shared value, which Harvard Business Law has been trying to propagate since the past few months, wherein private and public sector work together with the civil society organizations and come up with a win-win solution. Maybe that can be a starting point or mustard seed that can continue to grow.
My contention is that anything we submit will not be acceptable to government if we just submit it as industry. That's where we have to get the institutions which appear to be well-meaning, like my friends in Ateneo, challenge them. What are the standards that you expose? And debate with them on it, come out to, and we have to get government to approve that. And that's where the problems begin. No? But we should stop wasting our time attacking their you might say, their motivation or their intent. Because this is where I really sincerely feel the situation has changed over the past few years. Before we were getting nuisance and ignorance, now we're getting much more rational opposition, no? With the exception of a few whose name I will not mention. No?
A complimentary statement regarding your talk. Basically, what I noticed, and I've been noticing this in the past, is that there's no clear-cut relationship between the policymakers as well as the industry. In the petroleum industry, of which we are also an active player, we have the PAP. We try to streamline all guidelines. We try to discuss positions and papers before anything comes out in the public. Apparently, what I see in the mining now is that each group has its own position, and that when they come out, they usually go antagonistic against each other. What I think is not working is that the mining chamber that we have does not have a good relationship with the regulatory authorities. I think if they just could go together, sit down and discuss the policies before they come out, because they need to come up with one position. They just need to come up with one position that the public will appreciate, rather than for each of this group to come up with different position that will end up fighting the public. In the petroleum industry, we usually get the government informed. We usually get them. They are made aware of what the problem is and what are the solutions, and we give them the options so that they can say that, all right, we take option A or B or C, and then we move from there. Right now, we don't have that in the mining. I don't think we have that. If we can only tell Bureau of Mines all that are currently happening in the field. For example, these guys in the Bureau of Mines are bureaucrats. They have not. I don't think they have any experience in working in the field or in the corporate world. So that the bottom line is that you should get someone who understands how a corporation works before he can regulate. Because the relationship is that we work as contractors to the government. At the end of the day, we are at their mercy because the state owns these mineral properties, just like the petroleum. So we can just be here continue barking, but at the end of the day, they have the last say.
Thank you, Engineer Apostol. I have only one comment to that. The reason that the petroleum sector is doing very well is that the agency regulating it is not called the Department of Environment and Energy.
Excuse me, in addition, I think one thing that we need, and I'm glad that Leo mentioned that we have a potential in this young congressman, senator that we talk, is we need a champion.
He has a sister by the same name.
Yeah. No, we need somebody in government to champion the industry. We need to identify somebody, develop the relationship. And it doesn't have to be a financial relationship. What I'm saying is you find somebody that really we can convince, bring on our side, that can articulate our position, then I think we'll have made major progress.
Well, unless there's any urgent questions, time is about up. Thank you very much, everyone, for being here till about 2:30.